Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lifers Show. Amen. Let's go, baby. Let's go. You can feel the energy. Let's keep the vibes up. Crypto lifers around the world. I love this life. Let's go. Yeah, check. Are we? Oh my gosh. Oh my God. It's. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Welcome to the Crypto Liver Show. We're here again. Can you believe it? Bitcoin doing some funny things in some funny times. And I'll show you what's happening to me right now. I was in a short up 1,000. I've decided to stay in it. Now I see the model, right? Like this is our model, right? It's bull flagging above the 200, touching the 21. And as we all know, and we've watched Sammy Cup and Hattie, that should boom to the upside, right? So I wonder if I could, do I finagle the flip? Do I move this down, knowing it's going to pump? Okay, which is, I'm super grateful. I'll take 340. Could have been better. But like, that looks like a perfect time to get into my other trade, right? And I could flip along right now. I forgot. I can flip along regardless. Everyone says regardless is not a word. Regardless, I can flip along. So look, I mean, this, and sorry to bring you in right as we're watching this, but this is, wow. And there it is. Like I missed the pump there to the upside. But, less is more in that sense. But there it is. I mean, 21 above the 200 inside the flag as we're showing up on the stream. So that's supposed to get a nice move to the upside. Shout out. Sorry, I didn't even say hi. Good morning. How are you doing? Thank you so much for jumping on in, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Liver Show, baby. I'm getting my energy back. They can't stop us. I got ginger beet today. We're going to go ginger beet, okay? See if it comes in clear. It should in a second here. Some ginger beet, okay? I am not sponsored. This is just, what I've been doing. That really has a beautiful, beautiful kick to it. I'm ready to go. So this looks like it's about to pump. I don't like to jump in at the breakout. I'm not a breakout trader. I would have gotten in here. I was putting on a tie. It takes me like a minute or two and getting myself ready. And like in that time, I was seeing, I was still in the short. I put the stop loss to here, or the take profit. It's my stop, but I used it as a take profit. You know what I'm saying? And my take profit was like down there. So this is cool though. Could we get a reversal for Bitcoin? Is there a chance? It looked like the daily was going to pound us to the downside, so I was in a daily short. But when I see my model right now, I'm like, okay, maybe we can get one of these. It can cool off for a split second. Possibly give me another entry. It is Tuesday. There's no bank holiday. Nothing crazy. Let's take a look at the Forex Factory and see the information we had today. So 8:30. Yeah, nothing crazy, right? FOMC member speaking. Nothing crazy today. For once. You know what I'm saying? Wednesday, we have final core CPI year over year. What the heck is that going on? Interesting. Nothing. Crude oil inventories. That's kind of cool. I'm trading oil. Want to see that, right? Unemployment claims Thursday. Okay. And then core PPI. So it's like a normal, Thursday, Friday, 8:30 information. I like it. Gives us some sense, and look at that. So the 1 hour I was looking, could it bottom? It got a little bit of bull div here. Just a wee bit. And I was watching for it. I was like, maybe they pump it. But the bigger time frames just kind of say this is just like one of these. The daily still suggests to stay short, in my humble opinion. I could be wrong. But that's just kind of like, as an old school trader, that's what I'm getting from the market. And I could be, it may not be correct. I don't know. But that's what I'm seeing at the present moment. Anyway, let's get back into the smaller time frame there, because it's fun. So look, that's a nice trade right there. So do I have the guts to get out of a short and flip long? Right? And now I have the 369 that I made there. Dang, I can't really put the stop where I'd like it to be. So take profit would be 64, 930. Stop would have to be at 63, 268. No, don't go away with me. Run away with me. And I'll risk the 3, I'll risk the 4, right? I don't like the stop personally. It's kind of a grab and go area. I'd like to be below the 200. They don't give me that. They don't give me that justification. There's really no messing with Jason. Anyway, so that's your old rap line. So anyway, can we get this move up? I was thinking about it yesterday too, that exact line. I mean, this is my signal. I'd rather lose to it, but I'd like to be below the 200. But, you know, that was a substantial bump. Good place to put the stop below the wick. All right, you got a few wicks to hold me down. The 21-day moving average. It could come back down, dump here, get tight. That wouldn't be too bad. It could be a double top and turn into nada. I could have just stayed in my short, right? You know what I mean? We don't know. I don't know. And so I'm on the chopping block again. Sammy will be judged. And we'll see what happens here for BTC. But God bless everybody watching the stream. Thank you for jumping on in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being amazing and supporting one of the greatest streams in the game, the Crypto Lifer stream. Consecutively gone since February of 2021. February like 20-something, 21st or 22nd, 20th, maybe the 18th. I didn't put on the exact day, but I know it was somewhere between the 18th and the 22nd or something like that, where I just decided to start hitting the live stream in the morning, and then we just, you know, on the weekends, and then it just never stopped. I used to do no morning update on the weekend, but I think we used to do Saturday and Sunday night anyway. Oh yeah. I added the weekend streams just kind of randomly later on top of that. So this could be a double top, and they might just come get me. I'll lose what I just made on the short and be back at break even. But you know what? It's still a Tuesday. We'll see. Wouldn't be the worst. I've had a good week. Or what? I would lose like $70, I think, right? $100 maybe. Let's see. That's a really promising move there with the cup and handle. This Sammy cup and handy. You see it? I know you see that cup and handle. Don't try to tell me you don't. Right? And, you know, to win on a cup and handle when they call you Sammy Cup and Handy is just such a justification. But we'll see. I hope the trade doesn't bust my face in. Get it? Justification. No. Sorry. They're lusting the racing. I like muffins with raisins. Sorry. We can do this all day, though. You know what I mean? No. Okay. If you bluff and you brazen. That's just another way. If you bluff and you brazen. I like. Anyway, I'm done. Muffins and raisins, bluffins and brazen. And now you just stuff in your face. And I'm just... with muffins and raisins. Your bluffing is brazen. And there you got yourself a rap song, all right? Like, I'm tough, it's amazing. And you just keep going with it, right? So come on, man. Here's the model. 21 above the 200 consolidation after a dump. We got enough short liquidity above us for sure to get rocked. They messed up the longs by millions, so we'll see. So what I did is I was in a short on the daily, flipped, took my profit as I saw it coming up, didn't want to get bagged, took the probability to shield myself from this pump, take the gain, watch it consolidate, snatched along, and now we're going to see if I was able to kind of get on, you know what I mean, and do some taekwondo, right? You know, sorry, no, that's just like, I hope no one thinks that's, I'm going to stop there, but I'm just, the taekwondo, like, let's hope it works out. Watch, I get some bear div in my face and they'll just crush me. They'll crush my soul. I want to get to break even as soon as I can here on this trade. And we're going to do our top-down analysis like we always do. I just got to keep you in your seat here. Bitcoin. Shout out to everyone in the chat. We love you. We appreciate you. Let me pop out that chat. See what's cracking here today on this beautiful Tuesday. It's lovely to be alive. Thank you so much for everyone that comes to the stream daily. Appreciate you and love you. Thank you so much for everything. And I thank you for all your awesome support every single day. Yeah, here, there's some bear div there that could just come catch me up. They're overbought on the stochastics. It's tight. It's tight. We got to see if I can make it. I can't watch. They'll just come scoop me in 2 seconds and that will be it, right? Looking for that bullish retest now off the top of the previous resistance. Shout out to Stack McChange in the house. Shout out to Zab Life in the house. My man. Taekwondo. My boy, shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Okay, cracking me up today, man. If anyone thinks that they need to get over themselves, I don't know that. I don't know what he means, but God bless you. Yeah. The ginger shot's really flying me out there. No, it's really, you know what it is? It's the magic. It's magic mind. It's the magic mind, man. You know what I mean? It's got me flying. It's got me going on super gun, got me flying around it. No other place to be. Shout out to Rave Song Records in the house. Shout out to Rave Song Records in the house. Thank you so much for coming on in. Watch gold and silver closely. They play. I'm so excited to watch you cover. You know, they've been acting up, though. Gold was supposed to stay hot for me. It better stay hot. I don't know what gold did last night. Gold took a tumble. And then this morning, it was ripping last night, actually, doing damage. And then this morning, I don't know, we're just like completely collapsed, you know. But shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Crypto Weirdo holding me down. Have you heard of Keto Q? Seems to be a good product. I'm seeing a lot of people thinking, yeah, looking at that, like get the fast keto. I'm seeing that, the ketones. I am seeing that. Yeah. I don't know. I'm wary of stuff. You know, I always have to look at the ingredients. Even that magic, I like this stuff, but then I don't want to put it down, but there's some things in there I'm just not like excited about. I will be moving on. If I made it myself, it would have to be cleaner. That's all. Damn, we'll see what happens here. Getting tight. You keep coming in and interrupting the show. No. Thank you for the bone broth, my love. There's my daily bone broth and collagen. Because I'm regrowing. I'm regrowing right now. I'm in the state of regrowing myself. I'm transitioning from having a broken... What? I'm transitioning from having a broken, ruptured Achilles to having a clean Achilles. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to get through this together one day at a time. So look, a little bit of bull div on the 1 hour time frame. You finally did get a green candle next to a red one. And that's why sometimes I front run it, because if you wait, you can miss a majority of the move. Then the next candle, right, you get that. And then it's like, okay, well, how good was that? And I get it. I'm with that. But I started perfecting this. You know what I mean? Like, that was a good one. That was a good, and you just don't get greedy. If you don't get greedy, you move the stop loss to break even. Some trades you get hit off could have been more. Some could have been less, but you're just really grateful that you're up in the long run. That's really all that matters to me, okay? That's all that matters to me. So everyone, I love you. I want to say thank you so much. Again, there's no words of gratitude I could fully use to say thank you for this channel and for this experience to create this show every day. But I stay blessed, and I'm just so very grateful. Some days I'm grateful. Other days I'm just very grateful. Other days there's just this immense feeling of gratitude that I really can't even hold back. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. I'm just joking. There was a funny thing in that Mike Myers used to do. So anyway, I think it was a Wayne's World reference, to be honest. So here I am in the new chair, just getting through, doing what I can to get by, just to get by. Actually, what I have to do is lower the lumbar a bit here. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I just got to bring that back. There we go. I think that's going to be... There we go. That's a good spot. A good spot for it. Spit spot. So oversold in the monthly, okay, extremely. But again, that was the beginning of the last bear market when you came down here and curved like that. And then we just kind of, you know. So just what do I think is going to happen? What do I see happening? Is this the bottom? I have to tell everyone I don't see it, right? We will not get a bottom until we get a green candle next to a red one, right? And that will be when we'll be like, okay, we can even begin to think that we're bottoming, right? Like that was a bottom, you know what I mean? So we have to wait to the end of March because to me it looks like February is going to close red. Now maybe March closes green and becomes a bullish engulfing candle, rips to the upside. You never know. And this turns into a giant shoulder. Like this could be an inverted head and shoulder of type. You know, you never know. This could, you know, I'm open-minded. But even if that happened and we got a beautiful consolidation into an ascending triangle and this ended up turning into just a very large mover, not too bad. 219,000 by May of 2029. Right? But a lot of, you know, people are saying $1 million by 2030 and stuff like that. I think they're just a little they're overshooting at this point. Okay. This is the best case scenario. This is if we don't dip down lower for longer. If we do that, then you got to just, you know, what you really have to do is just, and this is what I've seen every asset in the world do, but you got to pull your fib. You got to look at your 786, and this is just what you have to do. I'm not being, you know, and you got to start thinking that 38,500 is the area, you know, right here somewhere is where you got to start thinking that that's going to be the lowest place to get Bitcoin. Like that's where the limit orders go. The last resort limit orders are going. You know, if that happens, and then we get another leg to the upside, which usually is the length of the pole, which is basically Elliott wave, right? And you'll break out like it's kind of a smaller idea. It's more like 145 by April of 2030. You know what I mean? Not the worst returns. It's just a double up in 3.5 years, though, right? So, like, are the returns for Bitcoin completely gone? I believe you know, and again, could there just be hyperinflation out of nowhere and Bitcoin just, that was the plan. That was the idea. Bitcoin just out of nowhere going to skyrocket and it'll be 200 grand, you know. But listen, for that to happen, the ETF buy-up was amazing, wasn't it? It was a very high potential for Bitcoin. Let's get back to see what happens to that trade right now. We do have a live trade cooking. We're seeing if we can win it. So far, we may be in the money here. So the pivot, the semi-pivot may play out here as the 21 above the 200, the moving price action to the upside. And I just trust the same thing over and over again, especially on a Tuesday morning with good volume. If you're just coming on in, we're just showing you how we get down here and how we make it happen. No high heat. The high heat came on. I mean, actually, it does seem like it kind of does interesting. Heat wasn't too bad, all right? Chair's amazing, though. You could put a massage on. You can do so many things with this chair. Dang, 95 looks like, you know, it's also like rising wedge style, right? There's some bear div there. This is swinging up. That's swinging down on the RSI, which tells me, and we're getting high. You know what I mean? On the stochastics, they're kind of curving. So I trust the model, but then I'm also looking like at these other interesting ideas when it, you know what I mean? So, sorry. The dang chair again. Me and the chair, this dang chair. So, looking at it closely, I could see how I could still get bagged here, right? This might just be a rising wedge that breaks to the downside. Gotta hope that the 21 can caress me ever so lovingly, ever so sweetly, and bring me home, all right? That's what I'm looking for. No guarantees, right? So anyway, like, again, we're back to the basics here for Bitcoin. And so at the very moment, I mean, I got to be honest, it looks just like we got more downside coming. Maybe some sideways price action. You know, in the bottom, where it tells you where the bottom comes somewhere in July of 2027. Right? October of 2027 that's going to be a long, it's going to be a long road, right? Now there's going to be so many times to long inside. I remember I've been longing some days when it's all the biggest dump of the day and we still make money. So have no fear. We're going to have fun trading no matter what happens. Maybe, and again, maybe we have bottomed. I don't want to be like the worst bit. I just want to show you, to me, if we're in a 4-year cycle bear market, which kind of seemed to be the case ever since we've hit the top, it looks like we're likely going to go lower, right? In that you have to take a realistic approach to Bitcoin. It's come back to the 786 every time it's ripped. So that would just be kind of what it's done. It wouldn't change anything. And that's what many assets have done, not just Bitcoin. You have to understand, this is just, these are the facts here, folks. This isn't me just being me. This is me just telling you, I've been doing this for a long, long time. I'm a boring old man when it comes to TA. And that's kind of probably who you want to listen to when it comes to technical analysis, right? Someone who's just been doing it for so long that it just clicks, man, right? So let's move further back to the 2-week chart. 2-week chart oversold. It is still a good place for me to start accumulating Bitcoin, because the next drawdown is only, if 38,000 is the low, that's less than 50% drawdown. And I always tell myself, I remember when Bitcoin was at 19K, and I said, if it goes to 10K, I bought 19K in front of everyone. I said, oh, look, I'm going to buy a whole Bitcoin here. I said, if it goes to 10K, right? I said, then I'll be down less than 50%. I'll be down 9 grand, and then I'll buy Bitcoin, and it won't stay down there long. It'll rip back up. The Bitcoin I buy at 10K will double when I get, so I'll double my money by the time we get to 19K. And then the 19K will be back to break even again. So I said, I have no fear buying a Bitcoin at 19,000. It made perfect sense to me. I said, even if it's not the bottom. So I've been here before. I've done all the thinking thing. I did it here. I've thought it through. I remember when Bitcoin dipped here, I said, you know what? That's the lowest I think I'll ever see it. I bought it the day we dumped. I bought a whole Bitcoin, and I bought some XRP at 16 cents. The day Bitcoin took this nasty dump. I'll never forget it. I was on my floor, turned ghost white. My crypto portfolio was looking good. Things were looking up. You know what I mean? It was, I thought we were kind of out of the bear market. That was the low. We were on our way. The stock market tanked, but crypto didn't for some reason, I remember correctly. And then the next day, we took a beat down. And look, it was a shoulder, head, right shoulder. If you were watching my channel, which is insane, I was drawing this. And drawing the measured move. And I said, this looks like we're going somewhere up to 20,000. 26,000. So when we were at 5 to 6,000, I was calling for 20K. I still remember these days. There's videos of me doing this online. I was doing the live stream back here in June of 2020. It's crazy. I just can't believe how long we've been doing this. And then I can see my whole life. It's wow. Sorry, I'm gonna get out of the sentiment, but it just, when you see your life in Bitcoin, every single day of Bitcoin, I was there every single day. That's. This chart, I can remember my life through the chart. It's so crazy. So back to the key ideas, right? So, could you have some support at 54,000? Maybe. That key level there is where these two, that doesn't change throughout multiple time frames. 48. Then you might have a little stop there at 35, you see? And then you could, 30K could even be hit. I could see it happen. And then we go to the weekly. Weekly also needed, I said the weekly looked bearish yesterday, right? I said it just doesn't, you got to get the green next to the red. I just don't see it. Show me the money here. And then I draw this trend line. And I draw something like this. And you could see eventually, if you even stop the bleeding and we do get a tweezer bottom, it looks like it may just form a bear flag again. And that could take weeks to form before we continue to dump. And end up lower too. So the TA is lining up. If this wasn't Bitcoin, it was just whatever, it would make sense. It all makes sense. This has to be your neckline. You just have to stick to it. You kind of have to make a pretty egregious, and that even brings you to 45,000, So I don't know. I'm just a guy who does technical analysis. I don't try to hurt feelings or make things up or try to say things that aren't true. And again, I say this every stream. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm stuck on just, what the TA tells me. I don't need 100 indicators. You don't need 1,000 things. Like, we're pretty bare bones right here. This is just, you know. But for me, this is just what I see happening right now until the bulls can show me something. When the bulls show me something different, I'll be able to show you that. I'll say, well, the daily has made a green next to a red. We're doing this. We're flipping bullish. Right? Look at this. It looks like they're going to come get me now. Down $16, $12. It'd be smart to cut my losses early. Falling wedge broke the trend. Not going to V. I was looking. Doesn't look good, right? Let's take a look at here. You know, you got you got liquidity. Bookmap says you're going down to 58,000. That's just what I see on the bigger time frames too. I'll be surprised. I got a fighting chance. Maybe this just makes a right shoulder. See shoulder, head, right shoulder. But it is oversold. Look, we got some interest here on the lower time frames. Some good volatility for Bitcoin. See, did it just get sunned by the 21 moving average? See that? I could make it a small loss, still be a winner right now. Interesting. Do I cut it off? 117, I'd still be up on the day, a fighting chance. So day trading wise, you know what I wanted to see is a breakout and a continuation. I'm not seeing what I desired to see. So like, I shouldn't fake it. But what if they just stop you out, Sam, and keep it moving? Maybe they do. If that happens, you know, I'll flip to the 5. And I'll look to see if the 5 can turn into a nice model. But it too looks like it may be making a head and shoulder pattern. You see, like, this doesn't look too bad, you know. As a day trader, I remind myself of like where I'm at on the day, right? So like if I was up 500, I lost 200. I'm like, I'm up 3. You see what I mean? I don't really stress the loss. I look at the number where I'm at. And if the market's really weird, or, you know what I mean, or looks like it's not going to go my way at all, like maybe take smaller wins and move on. The key is not to get, you know, people get into the trade, lose a trade. They get that revenge trade. They rip through 4 or 5 grand in it. I'm telling you right now, if you can have the ability just to kind of trade what you see and then just chill out when it doesn't work, you're going to be ahead of like 90% of most people, man. Everyone thinks there's like so much bigger things to trading, and it's really the small things that matter. It's the small disciplines, being able to walk away, knowing like your trading day is a little off too. Things may not just be going the way you want them to go, and just deciding that you're gonna, you know what I mean? You're gonna just kind of like step away and reinvigorate your chi. You know what I'm saying? Rework your frequency. Get yourself into a new mindset. Maybe it's a walk. Maybe it's a bike ride. Maybe it's playing with your kids. Maybe it's stepping away and just being introspective about your life. Maybe it's going through gratitudes, right? Look at this too, like, if that's even possible. That's crazy. I did hide right there. There's a chance someone stepped in right as that wick was there. You see? That wick does edge outside above my... But that's insane. Looks like it's going to go lower possibly on the stochastic, but look at that wick up. That's crazy. Crazy volatility on the small top. And please do not trade the 1 minute if you haven't. You know, I demo traded it for years. I traded it with small amounts of money. I back tested. I played around. Like, I really did my like 1 minute due diligence for like, I don't know how many. I must have 10,000 hours on the 1 minute alone. Never mind. In trading, I have like 60, 70,000 hours. Who knows how many thousands? You know what I mean? Well above that old, like, you have to be an expert. You know, we blew through 10,000 hours. I wonder how many hours I have just streaming alone. It's just insane. So anyway, but it's all due to you people and God. So I never want to be like egotistical about it and be like, look at me. It's more like, hey, I did what I loved every day. I kept moving every day. I kept pushing. I never took a day off. And again, we're still just beginning. Like, we're not, you know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, like, you know, I'm grateful for everything I have, but man, I'm always looking for us to continue and to get bigger and to go higher. So if you're just jumping on in, I was in a short. I took profits on it, like $360, something like that. Then I flipped long as we got above the 200 because I saw my model on the 1 minute. The long was up about $154. Now it's down 34. We're seeing if I could stay in it here, if we can consolidate and get a move further to the upside, or if Bitcoin's going to collapse further down. And that's kind of like, you know, where we're at today with the trading, if you're just jumping on in right now. So I'm in a long. They almost got me. I was within, you know, what you would call inches or centimeters or millimeters, really, in retrospective, if you looked at it, you know, in some type of measurement environment. I mean, it was close to getting stopped, right? So we'll see. I did move the stop to only lose if you can, 117. I'm trading here live on MEXC. If it's applicable in your area, you can jump on in MEXC. Okay. Looking for this tightness. If not, Weeks is a great alternative to trade. Absolutely love Weeks. It's an awesome thing. So jump on into Weeks today if you like. And BTC.D, we have links to these exchanges right here. So if watching me trade gets you excited, it's something you want to do. And I highly suggest you demo trade. Like, you'll go to your futures and you'll go down. This has demo trading, see? And what they do is they give you fake money. They give you an account and it acts exactly like Bitcoin. It tracks just like Bitcoin. It moves. You'll get liquidated. You'll win, you'll lose. And yes, it's not real. But the cool thing is, and I was hearing actually with BTC.D, if you demo trade and you win, they actually give you some free vouchers for real money, which is kind of cool. Which gives you incentive to really go for it. So I got to drink my bone broth every day. Yeah, I have a torn Achilles. So yeah, we're getting a bit of a bounce here for Bitcoin. It's looking interesting. Yeah, and I trade the 1 minute probably, I don't know, 26 out of 30 days a month, right? So I'm doing it all the time, but I'm also going over the bigger time frames. Let's finish our top 10 analysis here for Bitcoin. And this is a stream I don't think you'll ever really see. We bounce back in between, like, scalping the 1 minute and like showing you what's happening on the monthly. It's an interesting stream. But thank God everyone's unique, right? There's other streams that are different than mine. Everyone has a unique take on the market. Everyone's gifted in some way. Everyone has their genius quality in something. I believe everyone here is a genius in something. It is. You just got to find what you're really, really innately good at, what you could, And again, you can make money in other things and then use that money to use the things that you're good at, right? Like I was a assistant editor in the, Motion Picture Editors Guild for some big projects and big things. And I organized footage and I logged multiple time codes and I put them in groupings, and I had to learn all the ins and outs of like how to use Avid in the way that really keeps the footage in order. And I was like kind of a wizard when it came to time code and timing and tracking and framing. And it was just, and it became a very intricate job that burnt my brain out. But the point is, you do something over and over again, you'll get good at it over time. What was I trying to say though? There was a point to this. But number one, one thing was I didn't love it. Yeah, that was the point of the story. Like, it wasn't what I was like. It wasn't my passion, right? But it got me money to start doing the things that I did love, to pay for trading courses, right? To to get into a trading group. You see what I'm saying? So I worked my butt off. I had excess money. I used that money to educate myself, to do something different with my life. So like, you don't always do, people say follow your passion, and I believe in that. But sometimes, you make money doing something else while you do your passion on the side. And you can only, like, I think, like, for me, I waited till my passion started paying me enough where I could leave my job completely. Everyone always says, how do you transition from being a trader, a YouTuber, full-time YouTuber? Like, how do you transition from that? You know what I mean? And that's kind of like, that's a beautiful process in life. And that's what, like, you know what I mean? When you watch someone on YouTube, when I used to watch someone on YouTube, that was a metamorphosis that took place. Like, I'd be at work and I'd be like, but how did this guy get to the point where he could just live stream every day? How does he do what he does? Like, or he or she, you know what I mean? How do they fit, you know? And I'd always be like, dang, man, like I'm at work. This person is clearly loving their life on YouTube. You know, I know it's a hard work. They're grinding, but how do they make the transition? And then I look at all the channels that I said, barely anyone makes it on YouTube. It doesn't look like I'm going to make it, you know? And everyone's like, well, Sam, how the heck did you do it? And I say, man, pure perseverance and God. Like, I really, like, I don't know if I didn't believe thoroughly in the Creator and the higher power in my life that was, you know, moving things in my way, positioning, you know, moving obstacles out of my way, teaching me through my previous life. I don't think, there's no way I'd be where I'm at today, right? So I find it a miracle I'm at where I'm at today. But I always tell people, family and friends and people that I know, I said, man, if I could do it, you can clearly do it. You know, if I can get where I'm at today, I know people clearly more capable than me. It could be done. It can be done. 5-day chart looks horrible. And again, let me just flip on the moving averages. I don't know why I lost everything there. Swing. But yeah, you're below the 200 moving average on the 5-day chart. That's a pretty bearish sign that, like, it's either, you know, either we're just really hanging out or we're beginning a way, you know, a lot more of a bear. Like the last time we did this, when we crossed, it was 28,000. We bottomed at 15. So we had about 50% of the move left. So if you did the same idea here, you say when we crossed, we were at 71. And that means we would go down to 35,000, 36. You know what I'm saying? So that lines up perfectly. And I'm not saying that's a guarantee, but it's, you know, interesting concept. You really can't backtest it enough to find out if it's true. I get it. Again, this felt like this was a spider line. Once you lost it, it was definitely going to be a move. And then let's look at Bitcoin on the bigger idea here, right? Let's really reconnect. If you connect to the previous trend and you draw a trend line and you kind of keep this running too, look, you see 31,000. So maybe it extends a little longer and it gets, but yeah, see 31, 35 would be a trend line. You would hit the trend line, right? You say maybe the pandemic was a dip below the trend. You see that? You could say, no, it's changed trend over time, you know, but that's like, there's really only one connect there. You could maybe use these two. You could use these two, and I'll give that to you, fine. But you're still getting 38, 39,000 as the connection to the trend. Just, you know what I mean? Something I haven't looked at before, just this spark in my mind. I'm always just trying to give you guys a new perspective at something. And look, while we're showing you the long-term analysis, we're still sitting inside of a trade here. You know what I mean? We're in a live trade for Bitcoin. And so far, so good on the consolidation above the 200 moving average on the 1-minute time frame. And you got to be patient. You got to be patient, especially right now. There's less people in the market. You got to just kind of take it. And we've been trading great, you know, since Sunday morning. I've been doing great, right? I've been doing great. So thank you, dear Lord, for the gratitude. I'm very grateful for the ability to be grateful. And thank you. And I want to be grateful right now. So let's go to the 3-day chart. And the more grateful you are, the more creative ways you find to be grateful. You see what I'm saying? It becomes a habit, just like going to the gym. I go to the gym all the time because of this. You know what I mean? I'm grateful. I'm thankful for my kids, thankful for my wife. Like, because I've been hurt, my kids have been so good to me. How are you, Daddy? How was your day, Daddy? Are you feeling okay? Like, you know what I mean? And I have 3 little girls. Even the little baby, like, one of them will come up to me, and then the baby will come up to me and hug me. And I've been finding grace in that. I'll be honest. Like, I'm like, wow, this is like, to have, you know, to be the father of these beautiful children is such a blessing, man. Such a blessing. So look, another little bear flag forming possibly on the 3-day chart. We get some consolidation here to slow down the dumpage. We keep this low, right? And then we break it. This kind of looks like the more likely story to me. I am looking, so, you know, you'd look for some type of break back to the upside here. Thing about this is, like, in my humble opinion, right? We looked at this and I said that's Bitcoin, and it's in a bear flag on the daily. And we talked about this. Sunday is the day I flipped completely bearish. If you remember, I was like, all right, I'm done. I closed all the longs. I said it doesn't make sense. But yeah, that looks like it still could continue probably, you know, and why wouldn't it head to 54,000 to the next bigger resistance and support region? You look at Bookmap, it's hanging now at 58,000 too. 60,000, it suggests that we are going lower. Right? Funny, I'm up. This is looking okay though right now. At the present moment in time, and you can see how much TA I do a day. You could only, like, do you move the mouse as much as I do? Just ask yourself. Do you post as many charts as Sammy does? Do you play with, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be rude or egotistical. I'm just trying to, like, if I was someone who practiced hockey and I said, man, look, I'm out there every day playing with the puck, man. I'd say, hey, do you play with the puck as much as I do? Like, I mean, that looks like a breakout, right? I don't know, the second I squared it away, it popped. But, you know, I'm just looking at it. What I see sometimes is like, you know, and I bend and twist with my mind. But I see kind of it as a twisted cup and handle, right? That, like, what I call these uptrending cup and handles, you know? And, like, I mean, that's a win so far, too, on the trade. So let's see if I could do it again. I've been, you know, last week I remember I had 2 days of losses and 2 in a row. So let's see if we could kind of clear the air here. But we nailed the short. Then we hit the long. We nailed the short Sunday, front to back. From, like, the place to get in, from the place to get out. It was beautiful. The live stream took care of, like, both of that. It just showed up. Like, that's when the times were, you know. Could be a double top here now. You see? Remember, I moved the risk to $100. I'm still up if I lose now. So technically a free trade on the daily P&L. We got to bust through. We got to close a candle above these candles here. This has to be it here. Show me the money, baby. Come on. Show me the money. Boom. Let's get the pop. Let's get the pop. Goes the weasel. Show me the money. Show me the money, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Close that candle now. In 25 seconds above these two candles. And we got ourselves probably a pretty good continuation move here to the upside. And we can negate that double to the double top. The double tip. Okay. Short for 2 days. Yeah, Bitcoin will live forever. God bless you, man. I love you. Shout out to TM Hustlin'. Yeah. And again, I'm the biggest Bitcoin bull you've ever seen. Oh, look at that. It came right back to that area and wicked to the top. We need another green one to show up, baby. Bull's got to push through. Close the candle above the wick now. I tell you, the model is interesting. It plays out pretty well. We have a nice consolidation, 21,200. We're also doing a similar thing here on the 5-minute time frame. As the 21's coming above, and we've crossed the 200, we have that inverted head and shoulder on the morning that did prevail. I was up way nicer on the short there. Could have taken the money. It's okay. I don't worry, you know. Could the daily reverse here and keep this low? There's a chance. I'm open-minded to anything, but it has to show us, right? And even if it does, like, I'm looking for a longer-term sideways price action, right? So just keep in the back of your mind what I showed you on the 3-day and the day, you know, on the bigger time frames. Don't get caught up too much in these smaller time frames. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. I always glance at the 12 and the 22. Possible tweezer bottom of the 12-hour time frame. You know, could be a really cool place to long here with a stop below these lows, like, and there's a chance this kind of does get a reversal for whatever reason. I've been finding this is such, you know what I mean? The risk to reward is great. I trade 3-to-1s. It's pretty close. This could be a little better. Actually, it could be a little better. They can get it to 3-1 right there, right? And again, it's high risk, high reward for sure. This might just turn red and dump on you. But I mean, the last two times, if you did this one, if you front ran it, it looks like you won it every time. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? At least, you know, and then you move your stop to break even and took what you could. So someone says trapping the bulls as we speak. We'll see. I mean, I'm just swing trading intraday scalp, so that's what I like about being a day trader when it comes to Lev. I don't try to be a hero. I don't try to open up positions for months at a time because I don't want to get liquidated for massive amounts of money because a big trade like that would be huge. I just buy spot Bitcoin when I'm supposed to, you know? Like you saw me the other day make my pay, and then I put, you know, some of that profit into BTC. What's cooking, lifer? Shout out to my man. Go to the gym, bro. God bless you, man. Thank you for that name. Telling people they got to go to the gym every day, or at least work out at their home, or make some type of home at the gym, or gym at the home. So the home at the gym. Make your home at the gym, or make a gym at your home. One thing you got to do something. Shout out to gifting memberships. Thank you so much. You didn't have to do that. God bless you. 200 moving average, just over 67. See what on. Should it hit soon enough? Interesting. Here we go, though, baby. Here we go. And again, that took some guts to switch short there in front of everybody. And like, you know, but I thought about it today. I was like, man, this would be a great learning experience. If I can show them how I close a trade, take the profit instead of, you know, because people die with, they quote unquote die with their trades. And I don't like using that word, but it's, even when the trade's kind of done, they just hang on till it only makes $100 and then they miss the entry on the long. All right, how about you get serious and just take the trade for what it is and trade what you see. All right, did I know it was going to pump for short? No, but the odds were high because I have a model that tells me this is supposed to happen when the 21's above the 200. And there you go. There's the squeeze. There's the squeeze to the upside. Now we make it almost a $700 a day. Now we can move the stop to break even to as well. You see what I'm saying? And now things start making sense. Now we can't lose any money on this trade. It can only be a win-win. Let's watch this pump to the upside now. Look at that. Just look at that. Look at that. That is a thing of beauty. That's a thing of beauty. I'm thinking that's unsustainable. That looks like, I'm going to ride that like I usually do, right? Let's get to the 1 minute chart. You're just getting too far for the 21-day moving average. It's unsustainable. It's a candle that I think you should get out on, in my humble opinion. And so I just took some profits. I probably made $450. Added to the 3 that I made. I'm up now $700-800 in the day, right? Okay. Can I do that 2 or 3 more times today and leave with 22 grand? Could I do it 10 times today and make it, possible? I can still make a lot of money. And should I stay in and watch it pump? I don't use the shoulda word, but it looks good to me. Is there a bigger reversal coming? Could we pump all the way to the 200? It looks like we'll make a right shoulder first. And now what I can do, this is what I can do now. This looks interesting on the 4 hour, right? So now what I do is I risk half on a bigger trade, right? So 68, 328. Where do I want to put that stop? At about 62, 607. We want to risk. Let's go for the 389 for 9. It's a 2.5 risk. It's not the best risk reward ratio. But it looks promising. Look how the stochastics are pointing to the upside, right? Looks like you're going to go here and make a right shoulder. So then I take this long, okay? I let that cook now. I leave it in, but I usually just kind of fling it. So look, I'll let that cook now, right? This pumps back to, because it looks like an inverted on the 4-hour. Stochastics look very inviting. You almost have an Adam and Eve here on the RSI. You do. Some promising intel there that shows me there could be a move, right? So why did you sell the scalp, Sam? Well, because a scalp is a scalp. Let's get back into our top-down analysis. We're not done yet with this either, you know. So the 12-hour could reverse here and give you a bounce. Now, I'm not saying it's amazing. It might even just bearish retest. This might be the bigger bearish retest here now. You see, you might just do something like this. You might just come here, hit that and dump, right? Now, maybe you make an inverted. Maybe you get back inside. You'd have to get back up above 66,349, right? This could also just be, something to pull in people to long so they could wreck them. Just like you know what I mean? So you can see I don't bet the house there too. I'd still be up in the day if I lose that trade. Okay, let's keep moving back to the 8-hour time frame. And what's up with this music putting me to sleep? Let's boom this thing out here. There we go. So look, the 8-hour time frame, let's go back into the 4-hour, my baby. So the 4-hour, now you have 2 green candles too. It's suggesting that you got a tweezer bottom to work on. So I always look for something to long. I've been using candle bodies recently. They've been amazing. Very accurate with low risk. And and it's kind of deja vu. Trading should be boring in a way. Like when you do things, it's almost the same thing over and over again, right? So let's take a look here at what's happening. Resistance here for Bitcoin. Resistance here too as well. And then where's your next really your play, Oh, yeah, it's you got to go with what I have there. Yeah, 54,000 once you break the low. And you're technically almost trying to double bottom here now on the 1 hour when you look at it. I didn't realize that's exactly the same spot, right? Good thing about it is it did look like a descending triangle that was going to just continue to dump. You see? And you had some bull div on this indicator gave you the bull divergence. Wasn't perfect. And technically, I guess you'd say here's a bigger bull div. I guess there was bull div there. Didn't really see it in the morning for whatever. I don't know what. Anyway, so it gets above this previous resistance. Looks okay. There's nothing too bearish about that right now. 15-minute likes to go up. If I'm watching it, it likes to go back to that 200 moving average. The 5-minute is now doing its thing. So now if you're bullish, you're just looking for this. You're looking for some bullish consolidation here. It would be nice if it doesn't break through this low here, this resistance, and the 21 comes up the price, and you get a continuation to the upside. Okay. So yeah, now that takes you basically from the beginning to the end. Now, if you're bearish, what are we looking for bearish side? The daily just looks like it fell out of the pattern. And it's going to continue to the downside. And to me, it has a bigger, a measured move somewhere down to 54,000. I see this is the bear flag here, and that's your pole. And it just tells me it's going to go somewhere to 54K. And it's just going to keep dumping. And these are just little weird moves in the small time frames that don't mean anything, and they're going to collapse. So to me, that's the most likely scenario. But I'll play the game because you know what? I've seen massive short squeezes come out of nowhere because people don't know how to play the game. And the game is treacherous. It's not easy. It's very difficult. And I'm teaching you how to play the game in a way most people won't show you because they don't play the game the way, every single day. They say they do, but they don't really do it like we do. We never stop 7 days a week, baby. I take days off of trading. Don't get me wrong. I'll stream and not trade. I think that's important. But Sorry there. All these like... So anyway, this is what I see on the 5-minute time frame. It looks interesting. It could still make a beautiful move, and there's still a possible nice long trade here cooking for an intraday scalp trader. You know, what we don't want to see, I always kind of project, you know, some type of head and shoulder that just dumps this thing. You start losing 200 moving averages. This becomes the bear flag fake out. You come back inside, you just dump, right? Kind of feel like that's what's likely going to happen. But I'll take it one step, one day, one candle at a time. Let me just see. I got to look at one more like clean chart. Let's see. What chart was I always got to double check because I like using multiple charts all the time. Okay, cool. So I go to the Binance chart, take a look at what's happening here. So when I take a look at Binance on the chart and I kind of zoom on in, or zoom out actually is what I want to do, and go to the daily, just trying to see how the daily bottoms here. I've never seen this pattern. Like, it's very... No daily bull div, you know. Like, I just see it kind of like this, you know. Maybe it bounces around in there. It's like a real smart move is like you don't long heavy till you break 70K and retest. Or maybe 65.7 and retest, right? It's like you got to reuse these support zones. Like you're entering this like, you know, kind of open zone here where you can, like, once you break through here, I mean, there's just, like we said, you got 30K. You got 44,000. You got 53,000. And now we're starting to get 50 on the bookmap. You can see how bookmap kind of spoon feeds you. First, it gives you like 67, 69, then it gives you 60, then it, you know what I mean? Like, we haven't seen 57.5 before. It's kind of dabbling with the fact that yes or no, right? Wow, did we just see 64,000 though? That's what I got in at 64. Wow, I just didn't even realize I got in that late. And let's take a look. There might be another scalp here now for Bitcoin, right? I want to see if there's a nice scalp trade for BTC and kind of get into that too as well. Get back to the smaller time frames and see if there's some juice. Oh yeah, we're watching the 5-minute and we're seeing it consolidate. That's what it is. All right, I wanted to make sure, yeah. So right here, and this is live trading here, scalping on weeks too as well. You can see, so I can keep the long-term trade open, the bigger one there, just on MEXC, just kind of like, and it's separated. I like it. You don't press the wrong button. You don't add to a trade. You know what I mean? There's just no confusion. Each trade is what it is. And here you could do separated, isolated trades, which is nice too. Or you can do 2 trades on the same board and they won't interact with each other. You just have to be on isolated, separated there, you see? When you're on isolated, separated, you can do the same thing. I just like to even separate it even more. So yeah, we're looking for this to do what it did here and then consolidate sideways in the 5-minute time frame. That would tell you that price, because if it's supposed to make a flag, then this price is probably the best price you can get on the trade. Take profit would be 65,187. And again, like you're like, you look so bearish. And yeah, I see it bearish. But I just, my intraday scalping and, you know, instincts are just telling me that there's a possibility of some moving here. So I'm just listening to the subconscious mind. So what you do is you do this all the time, and eventually you don't really think. You just do what the subconscious mind tells you. Like that would be 1 for 4. Still would be an okay trade. You know what I mean? A little close to the price. The price action would be like very close to stopping me out though. Like to be a little lower, almost have to go higher, but I don't know if like that's, I just don't know if I buy 65,367. You see, starts getting out of the parameters of the risk potential, the risk-reward ratio doesn't match up. So you're like, okay. And again, if you don't have rules and you don't have a system, then you can't even make that call. You're just going to make a trade no matter what, right? I can't imagine not having something to fit myself into, like a system, you know what I mean? A cookie cutter way to trade that just, it has to be this way. The tools that I use, the way you look at the charts, right? The way you establish the trade, the entry, how you enter a trade, same way every time. How you establish the rules for the trade, same way every time. Like 104 for 500, that's a great trade, right? Risk-reward ratio will change too. And, you know, I like the cross of the 21 and the 200. Very high risk. This one is very high risk. It's a little unusual for me. So there is a chance I get stopped down on it as I say it. Just because it's like, ooh, the 1 minute didn't look amazing. I like to have better guard of the stop loss, right? We'll see. Let me zoom, you know. So yeah, we're going to see if the 5 minute can make a flag here. Really better place to get in is when the 21 touches price action. Don't jump the gun like I did. Okay. So moving forward, we came into a short. I put the stop loss into place, took position, 370 in the trade. We came in, we flipped it back to a long. Took about, what, 370, 400 bucks in the long. Followed a massive short squeeze that looked beautiful, just too far for the 21. Got back to a bigger long on the bigger time frame, the 4 hour, looking for a possible reversal. And then I'm, you know, attempting to scalp again here on the smaller time frames. A little too risky on the scalp, as I was saying. Looks like it's a, we'll see. We'll see. You never know, but it looks like I'm seconds away from just getting bang, plucked out, right? Very close. Do I live trade of this channel every day? Probably about 90% of the time, but not every time. You know, I try to teach through doing instead of just showing you. I teach a lot too, though. And we just show you moving averages, support or resistance, you know, candle bodies, ideas. This was, yeah, see, as I told you, it was like very against my, I do have some support or resistance there. We got some candles that could support this bounce. But it's likely I click away and the next time I click back, I'm spotted. But we'll see. Only time will tell. They almost got me in the last one and we ended up winning that trade. It got very close there. It was amazing, right? So you never know. You stick to your positions. And again, I'm just making sure I don't risk a lot. You can see how I'm keeping the risk very low. Very important. Fear and Greed Index at 8. I mean, to me, that's insane. That's a number you would think would just be, you know, like we've been at 5, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've never seen this not be the bottom. But the TA's telling me we're going lower. Again, I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance, and anything could happen. I want to always make that clear. Anything could happen. And I just trade probabilities that look, you know, that make sense to me. Let's see if there's any altcoins out there. You know, Decred, as we talked about, the only coin really holding its gains and staying pretty nice for whatever reason. And I looked at it on the TA. Like I found it a couple weeks back. And we've been honing in on it ever since. So the only coin really worth looking at, Decred, right? Kite still doing some damage at 25 cents, up 20%. And it has the volume and the people paying attention and the attention. So, right. A little bit of movement in Render, some Zcash, some Lit, some Hyperliquid, backbound. You know, Hyperliquid, I held it for a long time, 6-7 months. It was, I think it's a great project, but it went up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. You know, and then eventually just down. Solana looks like it could go back to $30 or $20 too, you know, when we see the end of this. Pippin was hot, but be careful, right? You know, when it long term, I think it's just a great intraday trade there on a couple days here when it's pumping. Yes, you know, desire to even like, you know, maybe some Chainlink. I don't know, man. All coins used to have this push, this idea. Look, they're meeting with this person, even Chainlink. It's doing this, it's doing that, right? But they're also attached to Bitcoin. Look at Casper, probably going back to a penny. So sad. So yeah, I mean, good time. If you really like projects, I can't really, you know, people ask me to this day, do you think altcoins are coming back? You know, that's a big question I get a lot. And I ask myself, And I believe, you know, there will be some utility. There will be some DeFi staking. You have to remember, too, though, that once they pass these crypto laws, there's going to be the ability for some banks and something to do some of the things that you could do here. It's going to attract some customer base away. So that customer base is going to be harder to pull in because before they came in, because there was nothing left. Oh, wow, my friend's doing this. Oh, really? I got to get into that. You know what I mean? Oh, you're getting, and they try. They throw $5,000 and do some DeFi. Or even that they just stake some stable coin, right? That's all, but still was risky for them, but that's all they did, you know? The point is, it would, you know, now if they could, oh, well, I could just do that with my bank. I don't need to go with my buddy who just told me about it over lunch and find out and do all the stuff he told me I have to do and open up a MetaMask. You know what I mean? So the people that did it were kind of like warriors. They were like, they were willing to go the extra mile a little bit. You did get rewarded back then for doing all that. That's how crypto was. You know, crypto used to really reward you for anything you did above and beyond. Make an extra wallet, you know, go into a DeFi sector and actually learn how to stake the coin, you know. Make an LP token. Like I used to do LPs. I was the king of DeFi. Everyone knew me as the DeFi Sammy, man. I was doing DeFi all the time. And I was savvy with it. And there's still some ways to DeFi out there. And, you know, where you could turn some stable into flip. But even me, like, I haven't trusted the crypto game enough to really want to put substantial money outside of anything but like a hardware wallet or, you know, even to like some type of, you know, more secure holding station. So I'm just not, you know, I like Midnight. When I dollar cost average into it, could it be big one day? At a $950 million market cap, yeah, it probably can be. How could it got, you know, it could easily be $9 billion. It's a Cardano-backed coin, but I've taken shots on so many of these things the last 2-3 years, and like every shot, like not, you know, a lot of them just really didn't pan out. So now I'm like, damn, man, do I really want to take a shot again? You know? So like I still take shots at Bitcoin. You know, I think Solana's still worth DCing into if you don't have any, but that's, you know, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't think I'm saying you should be taken as such, right? XRP, I've never been a huge fan of. Like, I'm sorry to XRP people. I bought it back in the day at not, you know, 21 cents. Watch it rip to like, I think it ripped to like $1.35 or something. Made a nice trade on it. Never really thought about it after that, you know. And I bought some. I bought it on the lows in case it is the coin, you know. You never know. You know, I was into Pancake Swap for years. Just my whole life is written in these coins, man. You know, I still own Chainlink. I still own Atom. I still own some Doge. I still own some Pepe. Like, for whatever reason, you know. Certain things I just didn't sell. I still own some Atom, you know, staking it. So, like, anyway, it's a bit disheartening when you look at the coins because you're like, man. But there will, in my point, there will be a resurgence where crypto meets some type of AI and even more. And where there's a use case, and there's going to be some real projects with real backing. EtherFi still runs, still does look good staking, still up, right? Nothing wrong with that, right? So I just wanted to kind of go over like what is possible right now. And to me, it's Bitcoin trading, gold trading, silver trading, just trading bigger assets with good volume. You know what I mean? Fine tuning our trading, number one, because you can use that when it comes to altcoins at one point in your life. So you're not doing yourself a disservice when it comes to alt season. You're actually getting ready for it. You're basically training calisthenics. You're moving forward. You're doing the right thing. See? Still in the trade, baby, but it's looking ugly. See, this is what I call a descending triangle, right? So it can bounce right here and now in the next few minutes. I feel like it's trying to pack a dump. Curving on the 21 is never a good sign. Bear div. We had a nice run. That's why I sold that local top, right? Got to bounce up here soon. Get in here and start hanging out in here. Otherwise, it's coming down here. That trend line is crucial. Like, you got to break it. Otherwise, like, you know, that's the meet me at the crossroads. You know, it's funny. People make patterns and they think patterns this and that. A pattern is simply two trend lines, man. This trend line and that trend crossing. And one trend line's going to win. Either you're like going to hit this trend and keep going down, or you're going to break this trend and keep going up. You know, one day it hit me. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it's not as complicated as I thought. It's really just two trend lines battling it out. And then you're going to get to the edge and you're going to have to figure out which way you want to move. And it's going to tell you, right? That's the beauty of trading, and that's the beauty of using, and that's why technical analysts, we can tell when price is about to move or not, when something's about to happen. because we can see the tightness and the pressure inside a price action, right? It's like, oh, I can see that we're about to pump or dump, right? I lose both trades. I'm still up in the day. You seen that? I'm still, but it's like it's not a lot. But I don't have to stress it. I can go to sleep tonight and be back another day to win another war. The key is to stay in the game and manage capital properly. You can look back on the week and say, you know what? I didn't make tons this week, but I moved my stop loss up when I was up. I took profits when I could. A couple trades went against me, but I was already I used my stop loss, or I made minimal losses on that. And I didn't blow up accounts. You know, I didn't panic sell, I didn't panic trade, and I didn't liquidate myself on to next week. Thank you. You know what I mean? Like that's a win. I got to tell you, man, people don't realize like trading like this, like actual disciplined trading like this almost doesn't exist. Like 90% of people are just throwing it with no stop loss, saying this has to be the right direction. They're basically playing binary options. Like they might as well, you know what I mean? They're playing football team, who's going to win or lose. And they're just like, this worked last time, I'm going to do it this time, you know? No, it takes years of perfection. It takes years of discipline. At least, maybe even 16 to 18 months, you could become a profitable trader, or someone that, and again, that whole profitable trader thing is kind of like, that's like saying I'm an uninjured player. Yeah, you're uninjured until you get injured. Like, everyone's a non-profitable trader until something horrible can maybe happen, until you still, look at me, like, I won some big wins in my life. I got somewhere in life. I delved down the risk. Like, look, why is he trading with such small amounts? Because I'm not going to lose my sauce. I'm not going to lose half my net worth in a week. You know, you start up in the ante. Like, you turn these, say I turn this trade, with this trade is a 27,000. You know, normally they're 100,000, but the volume's a little low. I turn my $100,000 trades into $500,000 $1 million trade. Let's just say, because I want to be, you know, and now my losses are bigger. So then my revenge trade is bigger. Then next thing you could I could turn myself into a $500,000 hole. I have the money to go into a $500,000 hole pretty fast. You see what I mean? And I know that about myself. So I have the liquidity to get real, to make it real nasty. So I don't want to see that happen. You get what I'm saying? So I trade small on certain days for a reason, to keep myself realizing that, hey, man, you know, any given day could be your day, man. Stay disciplined. Don't get caught up in the sauce. Don't get caught up getting crazy. Stay disciplined. And trading will keep you disciplined. Like you think it won't, it will. So it's a daily process that changes every day. And you just keep molding your success with the way you behave, right? And that's it. And you stay disciplined, do the same thing every day, have a set of rules, stick to them with proper risk management. Like, it's like, to me, that's a descending triangle. You see it? Looks like a failed rally. Also makes me think I may lose that 4-hour trade now, because like I wanted to see this continue. 5 minutes still pretty nicely above the 200. I'm just a little close to the bone. I could rip it down, but then I'd be down here. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that yet. So I got stopped out there for $100. No worries. And again, just one trade too, and walk away can be a good idea, right? Even in my case. But now I'm back at it here, just kind of looking at this idea. Same thing we did on the 1-hour trade the 1 minute trade that we won, right? Now I front ran it. This time I'm going to be a little more patient. Sometimes I'll be patient and I miss it though. Like it's, you know what I mean? This is like, nothing is perfect. And I'll set this trade even, I may never take it, but it's better to have it set up and not take it than to not, you know what I mean? Than to not have it set up and miss it when it looks like it's the right time. And this is what I love about dedicating time to trading, being here. Look, that could be a 5-to-1 if everything goes in my favor. If you were to get in now, I see a right shoulder. There's some. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm saying if it happens, I'll take advantage of it. See, that's what quantum projection theory is. It's not being right. It's not saying we're definitely going to win this trade every time. It's going to go this way every time. It's saying, hey, this is what I would like to see happen if I am able to get in the trade. These are the type of entries I'm looking for if I could get into them. This is what I want to see. or desire to see. This is what I desire to see if the trade goes well. Now, it's beautiful. To get in here does make it beautiful. It's low risk reward ratio, but that's why you get the 5-to-1. It's high risk. Here's going to be a 3-to-1 because it's lower risk. But you know what I mean? Less reward. I get it. See what the trade would be if I jumped in here. And see, I risk 100 for $500 again. You know what I mean? You hit that and that hits again. I mean, that's it. You know, now we'd have a pretty dang good trading day. Technically should bounce off the 21 right there. Like the legend in me, you know, the OG, I want to get in right now and just, but I know I got to wait. You know, there's that like risk taker in me. And then there's the like quiet nerd that says, Sammy, you got to wait and do the right thing. Right? Would be even great on the wick right now, like to make it a 6-to-1 and end up cleaning 600 off $85 would just be epic, right? But we can also go back to just slowing it. A simadana. Remember that? That looks like a head and shoulders forming. It doesn't look amazing. And again, like, let me go back to the bigger time frame and remind myself what I've been seeing. You know, the daily still looks bearish to me. May even just continue to dump today. Files is, you know, this is like the bear flag and you broke down and you're dumping. Headed to $54,000 Bitcoin. Like, dang, Sam is the biggest bear I've ever seen. When did he become such a bear? I'm just like, I just roll with the flow of the TA. Like, if the TA, you know what I mean? That's all. I don't want to have biased opinion over what I think is going to happen. I don't know what I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I don't know where Bitcoin's going. I say this every day of the channel because I want people to understand I really believe in that. I have no idea where Bitcoin is going to go. Okay? Your favorite YouTuber disappeared. Your favorite analyst is gone. People have gone. They left the market. They said they're taking time off. They said they can't do it no more. We're going to be here. I live streamed from 69 all the way back to 15,000. This won't be the first time I've watched a complete and utter, 70% dump for Bitcoin. 75%. It's happened. We made it through. We're still here. We were at 69,000. We were so close to 100K. We went back to 15. We got back to 100K at one point. We were so close to 250,000 this time. We're back down. We're going to go back down to, 40, 50, 60, 30K. 40 to 30K somewhere. We'll be back to 180 one day. You know what I mean? We'll get back there. It will take longer than we thought. But it's sounder money if they continue to have it, in my humble opinion. 63.7, Bitcoin getting a dump. Looking ugly. Ugly juggly. Again, so let's recap. We're now up at like $670, something like, or $620 or something on the day after the $100 loss. We still lose the other trade. We lose 400, right? So we end up only being up $200 in the day if we don't trade anything at all and I lose that trade and Bitcoin dumps. The short could have stayed in the money possibly too, in a way. Yeah. Would have been very close to break even though. So only time will tell when we break that down. Let's take a look at some bigger picture ideas here. And let's take a look at the S&P futures. So I told you the S&P was going to bounce here and that it would consolidate. No one believed me. Everyone thought I was out of my mind, and even I did, but the TA said no. And if you watch my macro analysis, I said they're going to print money. This has to bounce. And the Fed's injecting so much money into the markets right now. And watch, I'm going to do something fun, right? I'm going to ask Grok. I'm going to say, hey, Grok. So we could do this with a microphone, right? You should be able to just like... Yeah, talk to Grok. Yeah. But I think I can hit... Might have to stop the volume, the music. I don't know if the music gets in the way. It probably does. But let me see. I'm going to ask it a question live. We're going to go look at the results together. Just something fun to do here. and I believe it was H. Hey, Grok. Hey, Grok. Hey, Grok. How much money is the Fed injecting into the markets in the next few weeks, in the next few months? All right. So I just wanted you to hear the question so you knew exactly what I was asking. You know what I mean? So this is another interesting thing that's like got me kind of like weary of what's happening to BTC right now. All right. But the answer is like, I know the answer. I believe it's $5.36 billion. $1 billion, you know. And why? And it's one of the biggest injections since COVID because they've added so much money to the market for the market to continue to move. Understand there's a repo market behind the market where banks lend to each other, okay? And that what that does is there's lending pressure across the market when there's less liquidity. And so they need to add more liquidity to keep the lending properly funded. And it just, you know what I mean? It's just nuts. So the Federal Reserve ends its quantitative tightening program in December and shifted to expanding its balance sheet through reserve management purchases to maintain ample reserves in the banking system. This involves monthly purchases of treasury bills and short-term securities, effectively injecting liquidity into the markets. Based on the latest operation schedules for the New York Fed, right? February 13th to March 20th, approximately $13.4 billion in reinvestment purchase plus $40 billion. You add that up, it's 5.34, right? I was pretty close. I said 5.4. All right, it's 53.4. Plus $40 billion in reserve management purchases for a total of $53.4 billion. We're currently in this window as of February 2024. So the next few weeks, we will see the remainder of these operations executed. Prior period, a similar, it was January 15th to February. Remember, we pumped so hard at the beginning of the year last year. If you remember correctly, Bitcoin went on a move. A similar structure with $154 billion in reinvestments plus $40 billion in management, totaling $55 billion, indicating a consistent monthly pace. Looking ahead to the next few months, the Fed plans to continue this approach with a special end without a specified end date, aiming for gradual balance sheet growth to match reserve demand, expecting around 40 to 60 billion per month in total net injections, combining reserve management and reinvestments, potentially scaling based on market conditions. That doesn't include short-term repo operations, which have been used sporadically. I just told you a repo. And the $40 billion in December, and a year-end spike to $74.6 billion. But those are temporary and not part of sustained balance sheet expansion. As of mid-February 2026, the Fed's balance sheet has already grown to about $60.6 trillion from $6.5 trillion at the end of 2025, reflecting these early injections. If economic conditions shift, the pace could adjust, but current projections point to steady liquidity support through at least Q2 of 2026. So you tell me how the S&P is going to dump while the Fed's injecting money into short-term securities and adding liquidity into the market. You tell me at the cuff of $50 billion a month. Okay? So to me, I guess they're just using these geopolitical movements, these sways, to get the market kind of iffy. But it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't add up. Okay? It doesn't add up. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm telling you that it looks like securities will continue to push. This falling wedge will break up. It'll be a slow, steady move. This tweezer bottom may be a perfect buy on the daily right here on the S&P with stops below this wick. We get a reversal back to the upside. I mean, it looks like it could be an idea. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Same thing with the NASDAQ. I see a move to the upside. I wouldn't stress that little red day. Just the Mexico thing, all that created a little bit of bearish news in the market. Could be a head and shoulder pattern, but I don't see it. I see a move to the upside. I stand behind this pump on the NASDAQ. And again, probably the perfect buy ever yesterday on the nasty NAS. If you want a long-term trade, you get in here, you take it to the top of the channel. You get out, wait for it to get to bottom, get in there, use that, what you made as a stop, put that down here, and then try to ride the bigger breakup. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say you should be taking the financial advice, but that's probably like a stone cold way to trade. Oh, we're back up there to 63.9, battling the markets here for Bitcoin. And so far, look, that was a legendary buy right there. Could have got the bounce. Would have been a 12-to-1 risk-reward ratio on that trade. 12-to-1. $100 for $1,200, right? And that's why trading near the 200 moving average became my thing, because it created such low risk compared to all the other trades I made in my life. You see? I could take another risk here. Why not? I think could make that right shoulder. But I like to live dangerously. And it's a Tuesday, man. I like that my stop loss can be below the 200 moving average. That's the key. So I see the NASDAQ making a move to the upside. Just kind of, people are looking at the bigger ideas on the bigger markets. We do that here every day. And so, if you're trading the bigger markets, there is a trade here on my channel. The idea is to front run the tweezer bottom, stop loss below the lower wick, and take it to the top of the channel. It's a 2.81 risk-reward ratio. Actually, it's not that good. You got to come up here, something like that. Get as low as I could. Stop loss below 24.5. Take profit is at 26,254. Takes about 2 weeks at the most, I believe, for that trade to play out. Could take 7 or 8 days, though, depending. So that's what I see happening. I could be wrong, but I see a breakout of this falling wedge back to the upside for the NASDAQ. Lack of bearish momentum of the MACD, showing signs of a cross coming right there too as well, and very low below the equator. Very great times to buy. Everything else, RSI looks like it's in a great spot, just crossing the 200 moving. It's 200 moving average there. That 200, it's moving average, whatever you want to call it, but it acts like a 200. Very similar idea. So yeah, I like what I'm seeing here for the price action. And shout out to everyone here in the live. Maybe get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate it. Been so into teaching and look at the charts. I have not even asked for the likes, but thank you so much for everybody jumping on in, and thank you for keeping up the energy and keeping it going. Lifers, I love you. Thank you so much. Yes. It's going to help me survive, help me get better, baby. Let's go. Get the energy going, Sammy. Let's go. Sorry, I know I'm out of my mind, but just got to keep it moving. Every single time, baby. Every single time. God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. So that's kind of what we're looking forward to as well. Someone asked for a seeker, 1 hour chart, 3 wide shoulders, about to print. Interesting. On BTC. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And again, what you're looking for is the 15-minute to reach the 200 moving average. At that point, we'll get some type of resistance. But that's really the golden goose that we're looking for today. That will propel my trade further to the upside. I win this one. This would be real sweet, right? Because then I got both those trades cooking. And, we turn it into a pretty, probably almost a $2,000 day if everything goes well. So you see how you could turn, a day could turn into, it could be a $200 nil. And trades could look like nil. But end up, next thing you know, you made a couple grand that day. And that adds up over time. So don't look at someone's small trades and think that's their life. It's like trading little by little, man. And just, having a system in place and taking advantage of wins. That's going to put things into perspective. That's going to make things make more sense for you over time. Okay. I know you can't see it at first because you're not trading an account day in and by day out, but you will over time. You'll know what I'm saying. Let's take a look at gold. Gold got a little funny on me here. Earlier today, it got crazy with the Mexican stuff. I think it created a little bit of frenzy. Then it hit a little bit of a dip. It's still strong. I still see it breaking out. We just got to get through today. Today's a little funky for gold, right? It's but it is wicking back to the upside. Let's see if on the 15 or the 30, it's going to create a flag to get itself out of this or what it's doing. You see how it made a head and shoulder here. Now it's kind of in this falling wedge. We need the breakout. We get the breakout for gold. So, interesting enough, right? Now, does someone, a lot of people took profits on the gold trade I gave after, it was a big pump. It was a big pump, right? Wow, so gold's, It's interesting right now. I'm like, it looks like it, previous supportive resistance looks like it's going to hold here. And we're going to get an actual bigger move further to the upside. It's got to take its time. The key is the DXY. Let's take a look at the dollar. I just got like massive pain behind my right calf, my left calf muscle. You know, my leg, not only does the leg hurt, but like I get like these weird pains all throughout the leg. Sometimes it's the knee. Like right now I'm getting a pulsating pain that ends with like a sharp, oh my gosh. I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm all right, but my goodness. The DXY looks like it wants to move. It's kind of like pumping. I mean, that looks bullish to me. I like it to make a double top. We'll see. You want to see this break down, but it looks bullish, right? Just on the, on the intraday 15-minute time frame. 1 hour looks like it's in a bull flag too. A bigger picture looks like it could break out. Adam and Eve with the flag, the 21 touching. So the DXY looks kind of tough. And that pumps hard too. I don't know if that's going to be amazing for Bitcoin. Yeah. Relax, buddy. Don't get that blood pumping too much. Thank you. No, I can't stand yet. I have to keep my foot elevated until Friday where hopefully I get the stitches out. They're going to look, they haven't told me I get the stitches out, but I believe that's stitches 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks for stitches. I don't know. It's been 2 weeks. I'm healing. Everything's been going well. It doesn't hurt. Everything, I hope it hasn't, no infection. We've kept it good. I was able to take a shower. I take a shower with this like big plastic boot that I can put around my cast, right? And then I sit in the chair. It's just, I feel like an old man, and my wife watches over me and makes sure if I don't fall. It's like, it's been really like, for a man, an alpha male, like it's very like, it like lowers your, you as a person. Like you don't have the power as it's very strange. But you know what? I'm with it. I'm with whatever God has planned for me. I submitted to these outcomes. I'd like to see the DXY dump and make this double top, baby. That would help us out a little bit. And everything, gold, silver, Bitcoin, What is the brand and model number of your chair? I need to replace mine. You don't need to do anything. God loves you. You need nothing, but I'll tell you the model of the chair and I'll let you know what it is. Okay. It's the HBOTA X7, baby. I love talking about it. You guys know. Welcome to the chair of chairs, the HBOTA X7, the first ever ergonomic smart AI chair. Why do they call it an AI chair? Because the ergonomic support moves as you move. When you move up, this will move up. When you move back, this will move up. It also has heating and massaging inside, as well as a cooling fan underneath your butt to cool you down. This goes right into your back, making it so comfortable right here behind your neck. So you're not looking for your back to your head support. You're not looking for neck support. Very, very nice. When you're sitting in it, you feel complete. You feel like you are in a rocket ship on the way to the moon. I'd get it with the battery so it can operate regardless, but I have it plugged in right now and it operates without the battery, so it's perfectly fine without. If you're able to plug it in, you need no battery, right? If you can just keep it plugged in all the time, like I will, technically don't need a battery, okay? So, anyway, this is the HBOTA X7. It is a very expensive chair as far as chairs go, And no, I'm not selling the chair. I get nothing from it. I am just having some fun with the chair commercial. But it's the chair I bought, so I use it. I got it. And again, it's taken, give me some time. I've had it for like 4 days, but hey, it's way better than the setup that I had going, and it feels way more comfortable, and it's really amazing. So, yeah. Again, you guys are traders. You're going to be, I have a stand-up desk. I really advise stand-up desk. That's the move. That's the way. That's the plan. But if you're not going to stand-up desk and it's just not your thing, I highly advise getting the HBOTA X7, man. And maybe there's something better out there too as well. I don't know. But yeah, for the money, I think this chair is well made and well done. So we'll see what happens here. Now it's kind of making that right shoulder again. I love how I keep thinking, yeah, I love how I'm risking very little. Teaching you guys how to lose, how to trade smart. All right. I may have to flip a few more burgers. Yeah. That woman in the chair needs a better monitor for trading on it. Let's take a look at SKR and Bitcoin dominance. And thank you so much. Let's take a look at the super chats of people that shooted on it. That shoot that super chat on in there. First, we had people that became members. Thank you so much. Hey, Lifer, thoughts on SPY and QQQ? I just did the S&P, right? Which is SP, isn't that SPY? S&P futures. We'll go over Bitcoin dominance. We'll look at QQQ and we'll look at SKR for the folks at home. That looks like a head and shoulder. That doesn't look too happy. But again, smaller time frames are iffy today too as well. I mean, they've been liquidating so many people that. Just remember, we were trading this coin, but I had an alert on it, and it was like, it didn't, I wanted to stay sideways, and we were going to get in here. It never did that, right? So, no point to really get in, right? So that's projection theory. If it doesn't do the projection, then no way. Wow, I had a huge pump today out of nowhere, right? I think that's what got your kind of looking at it. You're like, wow, why did it pump? To me, you never know. Low volume. Hey, the 1 hour did just do a fib retracement back to the 21-day moving average. If anything's in a pump, that looks interesting. It's the 618. Could move to the 786. I'd stay away from altcoins right now until Bitcoin stabilizes, but that, you asked, I'm telling, the 21 does look good. The stochastics are getting low. That could make a new move, and the target would take it to about 4 cents. I do like the project that I did look at Seeker. We were looking at it on and off recently. Look at Bitcoin, it does say it wants to go lower, all the way to 58,250 on Bookmap. That's what it's telling us is going to happen. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance and see what's happening to Bitcoin dominance too as well here on the board. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in with us every single day. We appreciate it. We love you and we appreciate you. We thank you so much for kicking it with the Lifer, man. My 5-year anniversary of never taking a day off. Special times to be alive. I mean, Bitcoin dominance to me look like it's going down. And it means people are just leaving the crypto market in general, right? So they're selling Bitcoin and altcoins, and Bitcoin dominance is going down. And I told you, remember when I told you, like, watch out this next week, it looks like a master dump is coming? Let me just show you something that will kind of get you. So you're not sure what's going to happen in the markets. You're watching 100 YouTubers, right? And you really want to find out what's going on. Like, you want to have a sense, and you want to actually, go out to dinner with your family on the weekend, and you want to feel as if you can you understand what's happening with price action, right? There's my Jim Rohn motivation that I'm always watching. So check this out. So you go to my macro video. It takes you 15 minutes on Friday afternoon. You can watch it Saturday morning, Friday night, whatever you need to. Okay? But you just invest a little bit of your time.
Hi, my name is Sam Price. I'm a technical analyst with over 10 years of experience in the charts. I will start.
Look at the pocket square matches the background.
Coming up in a month. And every single year, I see more and more in the charts, and I want to share with you. So every single Friday, about 2 years ago, I started doing this macro technical analysis video where I go over basically the Dow Jones, the S&P, gold, silver, Bitcoin, the DXY, Bitcoin dominance, Tether dominance, and more, total and total 3, just to kind of show you what's happening in the bigger scale, how gold, silver, and the NASDAQ are all correlated or uncorrelated, and kind of see what's happening in the markets without getting caught up in the smaller time frame.
Oh, that's clear,
let's jump on in. Let's take a look at Bitcoin first. That's the first asset I like to look at when we.
So anyway, you go down here, right? And what we're going to do is you want to go to Tether dominance, okay? And see what we said here. And this was.
So people are jumping into Tether. I want to see this turn into a head and shoulder. It doesn't look like that's the case just yet. You look at the daily, and it does look like you're making a bit of a bull flag. It could be a double top and dump, right? So you can see how you flip this upside down. That's Bitcoin right now, upside down. They're doing the exact same thing, right? Because where's the money going? So if the money flows in, right, Tether dominance, it continues to pump. This tells me be careful. Like, we very well had a little pump, get rejected, double top, and then boom. Remember, that I'm saying that's Bitcoin getting double topped, rejection, and then, this looks hot right now. It looks like people are going to run into Tether and out of Bitcoin. I could be wrong, but it looks like, this time next week when we're going over this stuff, it's going to look like Bitcoin took a bit of a move down. So that's kind of what we had for you right now. That's going to be today's Tuesday. That's in 4 days, right? 3 days, whatever. I'm going to do that macro analysis video, and we're probably going to go over the fact that this broke out, and we're going to mention what we talked about the week before, and you're going to see, man. And so that video is just it's so good for me to watch. It's so good for you to watch. I've been doing that video for a long time now, and the video really helps me out. So, and I've been doing this for a long time, and it's my own analysis. So, like, if it helps me out, I can only imagine how much it could help you out. So, take advantage of free information while you know what I mean? It's out there. I'm not going to be here forever, but take advantage of free information. And, I really think it's an awesome video. And I think it'll change. It'll blow your mind. It's funny. I want to see if my QR codes actually work. I've never back tested my QR codes. Let's see if I can go to my website. Oh, it's so cool, man. I can really go to my website right there on the phone from the QR code. Hey, QR codes are cool, man. When they came out, I started thinking these are awesome. We should use these all the time. Right. Anyway, follow me at CryptoLifer33 on Twitter. Follow me here at CryptoLifer33 on YouTube. Just hit the subscribe button. Jump on in. Make it happen. I'd greatly appreciate it. Right. So you can see by looking at multiple assets and different ideas, you can get an idea of what's happening in the market. So this guy wants the SPY, right? Which should just be, it's the S&P 500. Like I gave you it's S&P futures. And I say they're going to go sideways like this. And they're going to bounce and continue to pump. Because they're injecting so much money into the market. It has no place to go but into tech stocks and manufacturing. It's just going to go. And it's going to go into the market. And the Fed's doing it as we speak. I just read to you how much money's coming in, man. It's like $50 billion a month, right? So it's a lot of money. It's not a little bit of money. It's not a small injection. It's real money coming into the market. Doesn't look like it might go to Bitcoin, but it's going to go somewhere, right? So that's the thing. Wow, back at 64,000. We're still in this trade, baby. We're still alive, baby. We're still alive, man. We're still alive. And that's what I love about trading. And that's why you got to be in the group, because this show will end and you're not going to know what happened to this trade or where it went. Or if I make another trade, or if I get in, or what happens, and why would you want this to end? The information has been endless. It's been amazing. It's been abundant. Jump on in. Go to CryptoLifer.com right now. Let me give you the link so you don't have to think. That is a rhyme, but I'm not that corny. All right. And we'll look at the QQQ2 for a second for you. But jump on in. Go to CryptoLifer.com subscriptions and subscribe to the channel. Give me a month of your life. See what if it changes your life. We're going to have fun together. We're going to listen to Jerome. We're going to talk about positivity. We're going to break things down. We're going to build ourselves up. And we're going to find a way to make money out of this market no matter what happens every single day. So, and we're going to do it with proper risk management. You can see how I'm getting through the risk in this market. So, shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. I love you. I thank you so much. 11:58. I can't believe that. Are you going to watch Strategy World 2026 while streaming? I don't know what you're saying, but no. Highly unlikely. No. 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 Look at that, too. The 21 above the 200. Still inside some. Look, they're going to go after these shorts today, it looks like. After liquidating everyone in their entire mama yesterday, they're going to do even more today. And again, I think I'm good on being on this long side of the trade here. We're not green just yet, but we're about to flip green. Kind of want to add to this trade, but I'm being a little conservative today. Because when this comes up, it'll make a right shoulder, and then we can really get in again. And I just keep telling myself there's always another trade. Like I made $3,500 on Sunday, I can do it again. The key is not to lose money throughout the week and just keep grinding and adding and adding and adding and adding. So weird, I haven't seen anyone talk about it. Yeah, nobody really cares, man. All the nerds do. Maybe I would, it sounds like it'd be cool to stream. I think you're spot on for like bringing it up. Yeah. And QQQ, this just looks exactly like the NASDAQ. right? Investco Trust Series 1, yeah. QQQ just looks like an ETF of the NASDAQ, right? I mean, it's the NASDAQ. So yeah, I basically did the S&P and I did the NASDAQ, which is SPY and QQQ. And so there you have it, man. Everything you kind of need. All right, I talked about quantitative easing, told you how much money's coming in. We asked AI and got the information right here. So like you got that. I didn't get that from an article. I didn't read someone else's news. That news came right from us, from me, from my questioning. And that's the cool thing too. You can create the news now from your own mind. You ask the right questions and you get the news, right? You don't need to wait for someone to ask the questions, write the article, and then tell you what the news is. You can find it out on your own. This world is a world of really self-reliance where you can do whatever you want, man. It's a dark world where there's a lot coming out, right? It's the age of Aquarius, I believe, where the darkest things have to come out for the light to shine. Every time you do something, you ever take like use some of this mold stuff or this cleaning stuff, some of these cleaning agents on wood, you put it on and it brings all the dirt out. And it like makes the wood look all, and then you put another cleaning agent and you wipe it all away. And then you put like a nice oil and you restore it. It's very similar to that, man. You know what I mean? Like the dirt is coming up out of the air, up out of the cracks right now. You know what I mean? We're learning about all these things that, a lot of people knew about. I knew about this for years. I didn't even know how to talk to people about it. I didn't know how to say it because I knew it was true. Like once you know it's true for sure, like your research touched it, you know what I mean? You can't really like, first you second guess it, it's all conspiracy theory. But once you know it's true, it hurts, man. It's crazy. Right? So we're up, I'm here to guide us through this age of Aquarius. I'm telling you right now, as far as trading too, and to kind of lead people into the right, into the light, man, into the brightest ways, into the highest frequencies we can live. There's a higher frequency way to live. And I know it creates more joy and independence. I love each and every one of you. I thank you all for being here. I'm very grateful for you all for jumping on in. Looks like this trade may actually pump again and we may win again here. So if you listen to my strategies, you take my trades, I mean, they seem to be playing out. You just got to have the right risk management. I'm just using the 200 moving average to maintain. Anyway, I love you all. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll see you all tomorrow for another beautiful, amazing live stream. May God bless you all. Keep you updated in the live here of what's happening as we continue throughout the day. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you all tomorrow. God bless. Thank you so much. Crypto Lifer over and out. Remember, the secret to success is getting started. You're not going to be great to start, but you got to start to be great, baby. I love you. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow.